Welcome back to Shadow of the Colossus. Hey, Wander, wake up. It's time to continue our quest.
Yeah, the slaughtering has no pauses here. Come on.
All right, let's see where we have to go.
Because you need a small recap. Dormin told us about some grass fields and to look for underground cover.
Remind me, there are 8 colossi, right?
16.
16.
Jova.
There were
16,
the original
wow.
plan. The original plan was to be 24, but because
Actually, I think even more. Something like well, the first strap of the plan was like I think between 36 and 48. Essentially, also Java, it was supposed to be even a multiplayer game, having other players co-op. Because remember, this was around the time where the PS2 was experimenting with its online features. So Ueda wanted to try a piece of the cake, but the game proved way too challenging for the system in order to actually work like that. So we had to be reconverted into a single-player experience, and the Colossi, for one reason or the other, eventually had to be cut down.
Gee, a multiplayer game that's trying to go for as many bosses as it can. I wonder what Ueda thought when he heard about Cuphead.
Some of them, some of the Colossi were cut because of bugs they were causing during test. Others because, according to Word of God, they were just too hard, like a Phoenix Colossi. Sorry,
So it's
Jova.
like how Stormy Ascent from Crash Bandicoot got cut out before it brought back.
The only evidence that exists are some minor screenshots found in interviews on PlayStation Magazine. Go ahead, Pedro.
in the meantime, Jova just sent you those pictures that, like the first one shows an example of how much it grows, and the last picture I showed you is how big the stamina ball in the original gets when you get maximum stamina.
That looks silly.
Yeah,
It does look silly.
it does look silly, which is a good thing that Blue Point fixed it.
So,
Having an actual line come out of the ball and just increasing in size, that's a much better choice.
Also, the HUD is way smoother here in a sense that for a context like this, only the stamina bar shows up,
Yeah.
and not the entire thing.
Basically, the way it works is in the original game, the UI would disappear after. The HUD. Sorry, the HUD will disappear after a few seconds if you're not doing anything that required the HP bar to appear, like if you don't get hurt for a while and so, or you don't. However, if you do literally anything that requires stamina, for example, the entire HUD will reappear, including even the icon showing which weapon you have equipped and the health, regardless of whether or not you got hurt or anything. However, Bluepoint changed it so that only the specific bar. For example, if you do something that requires stamina, only the stamina bar will show up on screen. If you get hurt, only the health bar will show up on screen.
Sorry, Pedro, it looks like you don't have that much luck with those lizards.
Don't worry, I do get one of them later.
what's with the lizards?
Remember, Jova, if you manage to kill them and cut their tail, your stamina meter gets extended.
Only the silver-tailed ones, though.
So can you only pin them with the arrows, or can you try hitting them
No,
with the sword?
you have to kill them with the arrows.
There you go, I think you got it.
Huh. Why is that, I wonder?
Come on, asshole.
It's just very...
got it.
I get it's peculiar, but it's just how it is, Jova. Yes.
There we go. Got it.
There you go. And there you go, that icon shows that...
Oh, look at that. Oh, never mind, that's just a horse.
yeah, it's aggro.
From a distance, she looks like a humanoid shadow sometimes.
It's because of the fog effect of this area.
I wonder if that was intentional.
Alright, onward to the fourth Colossus.
Which is right, I think it's right after these... this particular place. Yeah, I think we're already at it. Yeah.
It's looking a bit foggy here.
Yeah. This is because it's at the bottom of an area that's surrounded by mountains. Therefore, geographically in already this phenomenon, basically humidity gets condensed in an area like this, and then it generates this fog.
The original looked foggy everywhere, which could be a bit of a...
It was like an RTS, a fog of war. Also, Jova, you may have
But,
spotted...
but Bluepoint does a much better use of lighting and weather in this version. Go ahead.
Yeah, basically, Joe, you may have spotted some tombs which are shaped exactly like traditional Celtic tombs. If you remember the Lord of the Rings, they're similar to the ones where the leaders of Rohan rest. They're basically these small pumps, hills, that protons from the earth, and inside we have a cave system. And there's our fourth Colossus, sorry, Phaedra, the horse.
Plural is Colossi, singular is Colossus.
Yes.
Rather impractical looking feet you got there.
Yep.
All right.
However,
This particular
go ahead.
particular Colossus is not that bad when you play it on easy mode, because one thing that they did in easy mode, what Blue pointed for in easy mode, Theo, is that he doesn't. He's nowhere near as smart as he is in the normal and hard modes. Basically, again, for the
He's
sake of
very, very dumb in the easy mode.
not so much that it's dumb, more so that he's not as crafty. Okay, but I'm playing on hard mode, so allow me to explain how this boss works. Basically, this Colossus will, as you can see, is entirely armored, so climbing it is out of the question. So how do we go about this? So as you can see, every single Colossus has its own different strategy. Here's what you have to do. First, attract him to one of these tombs and make him think that you are under here. Fortunately, these tombs all connect, so you can enter from one side and come out of the other.
It's a little game of cat and mouse, Joe.
Basically, yeah.
Again, I mean, with the way his feet were, you think, the objective would be to get him to fall over because his feet are
Surprisingly, no. Instead, normally he goes near the tomb and actually uses his feet to actually kneel down. In turn, this makes his tail also go down, and that's your grabbing what you need to do. However,
be careful, however, because this Colossus, especially in hard mode, is not as dumb as you would hope. Because he will first look around just to make sure there's no funny business going on here. So make sure you keep out of its line of sight, because if it does see you, your strategy is ruined. You have to start over. So make sure it doesn't see you.
Here we go.
For example, and don't call for aggro either, because he will hear you if you do.
Yeah. Hello there.
There you go.
There you go. That's your cue. Funny enough, Jova, in one of the streams that Pedro did when he was trying again this game, for some reason this particular tail of the boss started glitching the shit out. It was really hilarious. But again, it started flipping out, spazzing. But again, it was mostly an isolated accident. So I actually haven't heard the reports of specific bugs.
I guess I found a rare glitch.
Congratulations, Pedro.
Alright,
like
so...
every game is glitchable, even in Nation
it would be foolish expecting a game without any sorts of flaws whatsoever. And as much as I praise Bluepoint for their craftsmanship and ingeniousness of the games, I can imagine they can make mistakes once in a while.
Anyway...
sometimes they're fun.
You want to explain the difference of the weak spot? Because, for example, this one that's
that particular weak spot that you're seeing right there, that's not a natural proper weak spot. Instead, what it is, it's a different weak point where if you stab it, the Colossus will feel pain and it will stop squirming. So basically, it's a way to get the Colossus to... There you go, see? This particular Colossus squirms and shakes like mad. So it's really hard. It can be really, especially on hard mode. So it can be really hard to.
It is a horse, so it makes sense to be very wild.
Yeah.
So basically, by making them feel even more pain, we can get them to stop squirming.
It's similar to a violent process of taming, I guess.
True, especially with a horse sometimes.
Do you have, Jova, any potential good Spirit Riding 3 jokes to put here?
No.
Oh, so many. Like, for one thing, you could say that this horse itself already has more guts than Episode 5 did. Or, hey, wow, you're bruising even more than Spirit did at the season finale. I mean, not season finale, the season start of Season 3.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Basically, Teo, the opening of Season 3 is basically a long, huge trauma conga line of Spirit getting chased by wildlife, bruising himself, getting hurt, cuts. Oh, and by the way, they do the standard thing of Lucky barely missing him. Like,
Of
you know, the
course.
ones looking for him barely miss him. And when he gets back, he's dragging himself. He is looking like he's gonna die. And
But the model itself looks unchanged.
They didn't even bother.
Believe it or not, Tio, they do what that Alone in the Dark remake tried to do, and that is basically put patches of hurt skin over him.
Oh.
As you can see, fighting this Colossus in hard mode is a struggle because
Chore.
not so much of a chore, Shira, because trust me, when you're actually playing, like, it becomes very intense, and like you're way too focused on things to even notice anything. Because this is literally a struggle between you and the Colossus, a fight of persistence, if you say. Like, which of the two will wield first?
If you get thrown off this one, will you get damaged?
Depends on how high you fall.
it seems
If you
like
do
all the
fall,
major-
if you do fall from this particular height right now, you will get hurt, but not die. The game is not that bad in terms of fall damage. The fall damage is fine. Like, it's It's exactly what you would expect. It's reasonable enough.
Also, either this guy's ribs are exposed or he has fossils.
Yeah,
clinging
actually,
to him.
that's exactly what you mentioned, Jova. His ribs are actually exposed. Most of the Colossi actually have some elements of body horror into them. It helps to create a surreal situation, similar to the technique that David Lynch uses in a couple of his movies, in a sense of the horror is not probably too much in your face like a simple jump scare, but it's there. And if you manage to notice it, you can get uncomfortable from that.
About a fridge horror in some cases.
Well,
Yeah.
think of it like this, Shiro. We're literally on top of a giant wild horse. What did you expect?
Yeah, because like, well, it seems like, the challenge seems to be more so staying onto him as opposed to him killing
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Again, Joe, it's another case of...
It's a matter
where
of
this,
paying
this
close attention to your
Colossi-
grip
yeah.
meter. Basically, it's a matter of risk or reward. Obviously, it's a good idea to try to stab him as much as you can. However, considering how much he shakes you off and how much time that wastes on your grip meter, obviously it's a matter of, okay, should I take a few more stabs, or should I want to take advantage of the grip meter I have left to go back to safer ground so I can recover, because there's always the risk of him shaking you off to the point where you can no longer climb and you'll fall as a result of it. So you have to be very clever about how you proceed about these things.
King, let's have
not as
another weak
fast as
spot
it looks.
that's as bastard as the one on the arm of Gaius.
Go.
Because there's only one left and it's on the top of the fucking head again, which means it's another spot where the Colossi will start shaking his head very violently.
That must be one heck of a weak spot, since, like, well, apparently that last bit is all his last half of health.
It's more accentuated in the hard mode, Jova, but basically for this remake, they also toned down a bit the damage Wander does, because if you time right the stamina in the original PS2 game and in the PS3 remaster, you could inflict a shit ton of damage with just a single blow, and you could potentially finish a single Colossus in 2 or 3 hits if you wanted.
Really?
Here, they toned down a bit and made it more dispersed, so to up the challenge factor even on normal mode. I guess easy mode, I haven't seen it, but I guess easy mode works just as it did the
Yes,
normal ones.
easy
did for
mode.
the
Yes,
original game.
yes, that original damage ratio is now easy mode.
Yeah, right.
As a result,
So running up-
as a result, the
Right.
game feels a lot better balanced.
Exactly. Surprisingly enough, Jova, having more stamina does not mean that you give more
Ah,
damage.
old still.
Makes sense to me, but in stamina, I think is more related to like endurance or health as opposed to.
Great, and I'm almost out of
power.
stamina.
Oh
Be
boy.
strong, Wonder.
Okay, just wait a bit.
Yeah, one of the best things in this game is also the ragdoll physics of Wonder being shaking around like it's a fucking puppet.
Just a little bit more. Thank God this guy is not as fast as he looks.
Yeah. It is a horse, but not a race one.
There we go.
There we go. Finally.
And he dies the way a horse would on its side.
Oh.
All we need is for one of these to be
remind me again, Shiro. Who's the good guy in this story?
I mean, to be fair, for all we know, these Colossus killed a lot of people, so maybe we did a solid.
That's the thing, Joe. But there's no people. These are the Forbidden Lands. There's no people in this. There's just these monsters.
Whatever civilization was there originally, it has been long gone.
The population of the Forbidden Lands consists of colossi, lizards, and eagles and insects.
And some fishes in there. Again, mostly wildlife along with the colossi.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Colossus were in pain and we were putting them out of their misery.
Maybe. Don't worry, Jova.
Is that your justification for
it will all be clear. Well, Shiroi, come on.
Shiroi. Wander wants to get laid bad.
And yeah, he will not be stopped by such trivial matter.
Genocide to do it.
I mean,
also, Shiroi, it's just like with the shades in Nier, there's just mindless beasts that needs to be killed.
Alright, when you kill the fourth Colossus, you get this cutscene.
Let me guess, every 4 bosses you beat, you get a cutscene.
No, well, actually, yeah, kinda, yeah.
Basically, you get sometimes a checkup on how things are going, just to spice things up. Also, just like Pedro showcased before in the previous part, it's also a good point to actually take a more look on how Wander is going on. Anyway, next up.
Thy next foe is... It casts a colossal shadow across a misty lake. As it soars through the sky, to reach it is no easy task.
Oh boy, one of my favorite actually. Yes.
This Colossus is a bird.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's just say the flying factor actually makes them just as hard as you can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing ones that fly, well, you're gonna take a lot of falling damage.
Thankfully, well, yes, sometimes yes, but you'll see when we'll get to the specific Colossi, Jova. Thankfully, we have some countermeasures to it, to actually go around the fact that these Colossi are flying, to, let's just say, pull them down. It's not a hook shot, I wish there was, like in Zelda, but we do have a bow and arrow, so we might as well make good use of it. Aggro, please, come on.
Thank you, Aggro, but maybe you want to show off your good side?
It's for
not
the
your bad side.
Alright, let's see where to. Through there.
A strong left for starters. Alright.
Alright then.
Alright then, off we go.
Also, as bonuses that you can get in this particular remake, also you can get some color changes, color palette swaps for Aggro himself. I don't remember what are specific, all of them.
Time trials.
But I think...
Time trials, the rewards for completing time trials.
I mean there's the variety in specific, like there is a white one, I think.
Oh yeah, there's a white one and there's a red one.
A red one, yeah. It's a nice little extra that incentives also the time.
There are various items you can get for completing the time trials of the Colossus battles. Basically, you can get a parachute-like thing that allows you to fall easily. You can get stronger swords. For example, you can get the Queen's sword from Eco, which is basically a one-hit kill sword. You can get a sun sword, the sword of the sun, which allows you to, because here's how the light, just like we established in part 1, that guiding light in the sword, that only works when you're under the sunlight, so it wouldn't work if I use it right now. However, the sword of the sun always produces a beam regardless of where you are. There you go. See, like since I'm nowhere near as in the middle of the sun as I was before. There you go. See it's a bit weaker. It's not even blue. Where is that? You can also get spears instead of throwing arrows, shooting arrows. You can throw spears. You can get exploding arrows, for example. You can get arrows that.
I think you get the electric arrows that are basically the Zelda arrows.
No.
Oh, my mistake then.
Well, you never did the time trials back in the day, did you?
No.
Yeah.
I only briefly watched some of the rewards of this remake. Anyway, Jova, like Doreen mentioned, here we're in the middle of a misty lake where the Colossi resides. So it's basically a given that if we fall, we just get back to get in the water. Basically, I guess this was supposed to be like a giant fortress, which eventually got flooded at the base.
Alright. 4th boss battle.
5th.
Oh, yeah, 5th, yeah, technically. Yeah. 5th, yeah. You're right.
There you go. Avion, the Eagle Colossi, or Phoenix. Well, it's called the Delta Phoenix, but...
Delta Airlines.
It resembles another specific type of bird, but I can't remember. It's the tail that gives away the type of species, but
It has the face of a pterodactyl, but not quite the entire head.
No, basically, Jova, there are specific birds with that kind of long tail.
Oh, snap.
Surprisingly, no, Jova. This Colossi just wants to do his own business for the moment.
Yeah,
However,
this is one of those Pacific Colossus that will not attack us unless we attack it first.
But that's the
Unless
thing,
we look
Jova.
like
We kind of
food,
need to
I'm
get
guessing.
onto it, so we kind of need to bait him to get to us.
So what, are we gonna look like fish to him?
Surprisingly, no. Again, despite the size and everything, he's not a predator. But there are some convenient platforms here.
There you go. Alright.
All we need to do is a single arrow.
Yeah, he felt that.
Not just that, Jova. In hard mode, stay very
Oh,
vigilant
snap.
because with this single attack, if it hits you, it's an insta-kill.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alright, and now the boss battle becomes this complete battle of attrition where I'm trying my best not to get thrown off.
What happens if you get
Good luck
thrown
with
off
that.
here?
You get in the water
You
and the
fall in
Colossi...
the, you don't die. Fall damage is not a
Colossus
problem
is
here because you just fall in the water anyway.
Yeah.
The Colossus, I'm guessing, probably dives in after you.
Not necessarily.
I think it does this wiping attack we was trying to do before.
Yeah.
Again.
Basically, whenever you need to
Yeah.
recover stamina in this boss, make sure that either its wings or its body is on an even on a complete horizontal position. Otherwise, you'll fall,
Yeah.
obviously.
Also, yes, Jova, in order to shake you off, this bird tries to do several barrel rolls.
Wow. Dedication.
Yep.
Alright, let's try.
Oh yeah, and this is actually one of my favorite battle themes.
Oh, wait! So he's Yveltal.
What?
Yveltal, the Y legendary Pokemon.
Oh, Evital, okay.
Yveltal.
Well, yeah, the tail, I think also on him is shaped like that, yeah.
The 3 weak points are two of them are on each of the wings, and the other one is on the end of the tail. So I'll leave the tail is easy to do because the tail always remains. So it's the wings that are the problem. Because...
Yeah, this is because the boss sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes he just flaps. So as you can imagine, it doesn't need to shake it off; it just needs to flap in order to stay afloat.
All right, let's try. There we go.
And as you can
So
see,
far,
not,
only one of them is actively trying to hurt you.
yes, that's a good observation, Shiri. Like I mentioned, not all the Colossi are actually that hostile against you. We'll get to one in particular that doesn't do anything, like genuinely doesn't even bother to shake you off, and so it's gonna be much more better. But we're far off from it for the moment.
Interesting. The one that does nothing is a later game boss. That
Yeah,
definitely clues me in on something.
There you go.
So
That's
all
a
the
long
remaining
tail.
one tail.
No, Pedro hasn't made the left wing spot completely disappear.
No, I'm leaving that one for last because that way I can take less risks.
All
And
these
there-
particles.
Yeesh, you got enough blood left?
There we
Alright.
go.
You know, you'd think that, by this logic, we should be able to just easily bleed them out for one big wound.
That's the thing, Jova. These colossi are more construct than anything. The
True.
supposed blood that's squirting out is not exactly. It's not their proper life force. It's more of a representation of the fact that the colossi has been hit than anything.
I see. The biological parts are, of
Jeez,
course.
I keep confusing the single and plural.
Well,
And that's where you go, like Pedro showed, that you can just hit Avian there for actually causing it to stop for a bit. Just like with the previous spot on Phaedra. There we go.
Okay, now hopefully we fought this through because we're going down!
fortunately, it just falls in the water, so...
Yeah. Well, 6 out of 10 landing.
Alright, 5 down, 11 to go. Basically, don't
pass out while swimming.
Well, I'm not gonna have the time to, Jova, because once again the black goo is about to come and get me.
Yeah, don't bother try to outrun it, can't, no matter what. Although, yeah, there you go.
Let me guess. This black stuff is fattening Wonder up to be a sacrifice for Damon or Dryman or whoever's the one talking to us, so then they can just kill him.
Its name is Dorman, but sure, yeah.
Let me guess, though. They flow into him because it's, sort of making him proper for some sacrifice or something to release
Not
Dorman.
exactly, Jova. You'll see in due time. Okay, can you
I
stop
hope
staring
you're
at me?
happy with yourself.
Dipshit. Also, another cool detail that they added in this remake is the fact that the disintegration of the pillars actually is more consistent. In the original one, they just shatter normally. Here, instead, they just leave specific particles behind. Again, attention to details here there.
Thy next foe is... a giant lurks underneath the temple.
Oh, this temple? Huh.
No,
No, not
not
this.
this temple. The other temple in the desert. It lusts
Of
for
course.
destruction. But a fool it is not.
Yeah, it's another one of my least favorite Colossi, but we'll get to it.
like
Probably,
it.
yeah, in the next part.
This one sounds like an evil one.
So we shall see, Jova.
Alright then, coolio. Alright, let's pray at the idol first. We'll also take a look at Wander, see how he's doing.
If he's fine or not. I mean, you don't need to worry for Momo. She's just gonna stay there on the
Momo?
the love interest. I keep forgetting what she's called.
Aggro. You're talking
No,
about the horse
Agri
or...
is the horse.
Oh, well,
I mean,
what are you talking about
the
then?
girlfriend of
Mono.
Mono. There you go. Don't worry about her. She's not gonna move from the altar where she's placed on.
You're a big Momo fan, it seems. Anyway, let's see.
I remember. Oh, I'll tell you later.
Yeah, I guess it still looks fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Durr. Alright then, I guess we'll continue the slaughtering in the next part then.
Yes, we will. Oh, don't look sad, Wonder. Only 11 more.
Okay.
Alright then, see everybody in the
See
next
ya.
part, where we continue to our heroic quest, question mark.
Totally.
So, see ya.
See ya.
See ya.